This is Irontrader. This is the last call of the day. Take a look here at Bitcoin, gold, silver, crude oil, natural gas. We'll take over at look at the indexes, which are up, down, up, down. So we got to see how it all shakes out. Now remember, after the close there today, we have Apple's earnings and we have Amazon earnings, and that's going to be a market mover. Okay, at the end of the video, the support and resistance levels are posted for crude and natural gas. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy, selling stock, market, ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Here we have Bitcoin, daily and weekly chart. Now, really, nothing's really happening. Today, we made this high of 119,785. Yesterday's high was 119,745. So we are just a little bit above that. Okay, but we're trading right here in the same old basket again. Okay, so if you look at the top, 121,255. We look at the bottom. Look at the bottom of the candle, 115,635. The box is still very, very much intact. Now, what we are is we have to watch this 8-day. This is 118,630. 631. Then we'll come to today's high, 19,785. We'll look at the top of this candle here at 124.15. And we'll get up in this area here, 125.40, and then we'll look at the retest of 121,255, the recent high. Now, get above that. Obviously, there's your target, 123,615. You cracked that, 125,500. So this is basically just a trade. Now, BITX has been a very, very good trader today. Got as low as 62.18, as high as 63.96. I've already traded this thing like 3 times today. It just keeps going back and forth and back and forth. But it looks like the Bitcoin is trading here with the Nasdaq. When Nasdaq goes up, this seems like to go up. It had a really good run this morning, and then it came right on down. But it's a really good scalping situation. Now, here where we are, as I say, we want to watch that 8-day, and then we'll lose. We'll go to today's low. Look at 170.905. There's the next support level, and then we'll come out 117.715 level, and we'll come down to the bottom at 117.305. We'll look to yesterday's low at 116.460, and then we'll be looking here for this 116.297. That's your 21-day. But you can see as this is trending up, it's going to provide a very, very good support level. We lose that, we'll come to the bottom there at 115.675. Then we have this 115.635. That's your gap. And then we have the fill right above that at 114,380. And then we can venture down to the top there at 112,590. We look to the bottom of that candle at 110,880. And then we have that 50-day at 110,817 level. Okay, but right now here we just have a nice good square box. We're just trading this pattern until she's going to break out above that 121,255, or we're going to break it down below to this gap fill at 115,635. There's a gap and maybe down to the fill. So we got to see here, but very, very strong. This is not really selling off. It's not going up. It's just a sideways trading action. The green is below your red, but this could curl right back up very easy. And he's just looking for a catalyst here to take this bad boy higher. Now, here by Friday, we're looking very, very good. We're still above this key level. We want to make sure that we hold that 112,563, and we want to hold that 112,345 level. That's going to be very, very crucial. If you start losing it, we can come down 110,150, and then we have 108,960 level. So there are a lot of good levels, but really we want to maintain that 8-day. That's very, very key. 21-day, 50-day, 100-day, and 200-day. You can see bottom left, upper right. Very, very nice bullish chart here with a series of nice high kind of situation and higher lows. And look how nice that's holding that 50. Now, very, very strong RSI sitting right there. The green is over your red, looking very, very strong. Looks like it just wants to go higher. Again, we're going to need a little catalyst here to take this bad boy right back up. But it looks like it's just trading here with the overall market, like on a NASDAQ. It just seems like when NASDAQ pushes up, it seems like Bitcoin pushes up. So it looks like there's a relationship right there. We got to see. But in the meantime, what we do, we just trade this market until we can crack above that candle, 121,255, or we lose that candle at 115,635. Let's take a look here now at gold and silver. All right, here we have gold, here we have silver. Now, just to mention a lot of those tariff situation, it looks like the T-Man gave Mexico another 3 months to figure everything out, so that's always good. You're just going to spread it on the line until it can all come up with an agreement. That's all it is. But eventually, they're going to settle it all away, you know, with every country. Okay, so what we had here, you can see where it rallied up, and nothing's really changed from this morning. It went above the 50-day and the 21-day, and went right into the 8-day, and then it pulled right on back. Now basically what we're doing is we're sitting right below that 33.55 level and that 33.55 level, 50-day and the 21-day. We're sitting right below that. Well, if we can get it back above that, then we have that 8-day that we have to close above 33.65, and then we can come up to this level here. This is going to be that 33.89. That's going to be very, very key because we hit it, and we hit it, and we just can't break through it. That's going to be very, very strong resistance. But again, if we can, then we'll come to the top of that candle. You're looking at 34.01. We have 34.16, 34.47, and then you retest at 35.51. Okay, so then we have to see what the reaction is. Right now, I have no position. I have no trading until we can get above this 8-day. We get above that, and we get above that 33.89 level. Then I'll jump into GLD, and we'll take it higher. We have 49. Yeah, I could go either way with this. This is sideways action. There's really nothing here. Now, again, if you trade options or futures or whatever, then yeah, you can make a couple of bucks here. But if you're just trading the ETFs here, there isn't really a whole lot kind of a trading material. You're better off elsewhere. Now, silver. Well, let's take a look at the peak scan silver. Well, it came down below that 50-day, but it held it. Okay, that's the key. So we always look at we lose that 8-day, then we look to the 21-day. We lose the 21-day, we come down to the 50-day. That's just how that works. Now, we had a good run up, and then we created this bear flag situation like we had here. This is a bull flag. See, just the opposite, bear flag. And then yesterday, we had that big red candle. That's not good. And then it came down, but we put a bottoming tail in. Okay, so just remember that. So now what you want to do is watch those futures. Very, very critical at 6 p.m. And see, we're going to be trading against today's candle. 37.28 high, 36.28 on the low side. But just watch that 50-day on a closing basis. Very, very key. 36.49. We lose that, come down the price channel. 36.05, and we come down to the bottom. 35.58. We'll come down the bottom of that candle. 35.19, and then we have that 100-day at 34.75 level. But right now we're holding that 50-day, so you got to respect it. Okay, upside. We're watching today's high, 37.28, and then we'll be looking for that 21-day at 38.05, and then we're looking for that 8-day at 38.43. Obviously, we get above that, we come to 39.52, 39.66, and then the retest up there at 39.91. But right now, we're just having that sell-off. But see where we had this negative divergence, negative divergence. See when you have this negative divergence, high, lower high, high, higher high, negative divergence, what happened? Came down. Same way here, high, higher high, high, lower high. What happened? It came down, and then it just kept right on going. Okay, so right here, this 21-day, that catch-all, it caught it, but not on this one. It did trade for a little while, but all it did is create a bear flag, and then when she broke all the way on down, and now we're sitting here down at 42. Now, this is not overbought. This is not oversold. Another red flag that you want to look at, see where you have the green crossed over the red, that shows momentum to the downside. And that's exactly what we have. So when you see the bear flag, okay, you see the negative divergence, and you see the bearish cross, that tells you that you got to get shorty. Now, I don't trade this short. I only trade it long with the SLV. I'm not really a gold or silver trader. I'm more like oil, natural gas, gasoline, technology, all that kind of stuff that I'll trade. But again, I do trade this if I just in a long position with the SLV and the long position with the GLD. But right now here, just watch that 50-day, very, very key. Might get a little ping pong action, maybe back to that 21-day, maybe that 8-day, but now you can see the 8-day roll over. If this 8-day keeps on rolling over across that 21, that's going to provide very, very strong resistance on the upside. So always remember that. Okay, let's take a look here now at crude and natural gas. Here we have crude, here we have natural gas. Now, rig count will be out tomorrow. It's not what you call a market mover, but info is info. Today, we made this high of 70.41. Yesterday's high, we had 70.51. Okay, and then today's low, we had 68.56. Yesterday's low, we had 60.45. So what we have is that inside day. Your high and low is the inside of the previous day. Now, we had a really good run off of this 100 SMA. You can see how nice it held it. And then we ran right on up, and we went above this candle at that 69.65. And then we made a high all the way up to that 70.51, which is looking good. But we didn't make it up to that 71.33 as of yet. Now, we have a red kind of candle here, so we want to watch those futures at 6 p.m. And you want to watch that 70.41 on the high and 68.56 on the low. If we can get above, then we're going to hit that 70.51, and then we'll just notch it right on up. Just look at the bottom of the candle. Okay, what we have is 71.33. We have 72.33, 32, 73.90, and then 74.27. Now, if you look at the close on this is 74.04. So really, this 74 area is going to be very, very strong resistance if it gets up into that area. But we got to see how that's all going to shake out. Now, on the downside, we have to just watch that 200-day 68.05, and then we're going to watch this 8-day and 21-day at 67.24, and then we have the 66.22, that's your 50-day, and then we have the 100-day at 65.07. We lose any of this here, this is what you're going to be watching. Right on the bottom is that 64 flat, that's the bottom of that bear flag situation. That's what you want to watch. You lose that, you can go down towards that 50 mark. All right, now we know what we have here at 58. You can see where it kind of rolled over. The green is still over your red, so you got to give this a little bit of time. Let's just see if we can get all sitting. Now that might be a tweezer bottom, but let's just see how this candle shakes out because you have a green and you have a red candles. So let's go see. So obviously, what you want to watch is yesterday's high. That's going to be that 70.51. You close above that, we follow the candles right on up. We close below that, and then we'll be looking for that 200-day, the 8-day, 21-day. The 50-day and possible 100 SMA. Natgas got a little bump there today. You can see where it made down. It got as low as a 297, which is actually good. Okay, because the simple reason is this. Oh wait, we made a 298.4, but when you look at this gap fill, we had 298.3. So the gap wasn't really filled. Came pretty damn close with 1,000. So I'm saying 1,000th of an inch there. So but now it's filled. So that gap there is filled. We don't have to worry about that. Okay, we had a nice good rally up, and actually UNG, I had a little scalp into UNG today. It made 13.08, and it made a high of 13.68. Now I didn't get that was you had 60 cents there. I got 30 cents out of it, so I got half of that out of there. But I trade 5,000 shares, so that wasn't too bad. 30 cents. That was an easy $1,500. Now. On the upside, we're watching this 8-day. That's going to be very, very critical, that 8-day. 31.10. Now, what we did is we put in like what they call a red dog. Okay, we had this low of that 298. This came down and made a lower low. So it kind of sucks all the shorts in there and says, oh, this is going to go down to that 286 level. And it didn't. It reversed. Okay, so what I did is I just waited for it to roll up a little bit. So what I do is I put the daily chart on there. I have a tick chart, 1 minute, 5 minute chart, and that's what I trade off. If you want to take the trade out a little bit, you can go a 30-minute or 1 hour, 4 hour chart, and then you always look at the daily, weekly, and a monthly chart. But for trading, a tick, 1 and 5 work very, very good. Now, it was just a nice, good scalp, but now we're watching this 8-day at 310. We get above that, we're going to come and retest this 318 level. That's what we're going to look for. We'll come to the top of the candle at 326, and then we'll be looking for that 21-day at 330. But we got to get through this level area first. This is going to be very, very crucial that we get through, but you have to get a close above that 8-day in order to do that. Then we have the 21-day, we have the 200-day and 50-day sitting there, and then we have the 356 is your 100-day, and then we have obviously your retest there at 362. But got to get that 8-day. We have a downtrending channel here, high, lower, high, lower, high, lower, high. Downtrending, okay? All year, simple moving average, downtrending. However, natural gas, to me, is just a pure trading situation. I don't buy in, hold this overnight, none of that, because you'd have no idea what natty gas is going to do. They don't call it the widowmaker for nothing. But it was a nice scalp as far as the UNG goes today. But sometimes you got to be a little bit patient, because when you see it going down, and it breaks that 298 level just by one, it doesn't matter because it goes down. And then when it reverses, that's what you're waiting for, to reverse it, get back up there. And that's why I got in a little bit late, but I took the juice out, and I'm all out of the trade now. Okay, so we never got to an sold condition. You're sitting there at 41. The green is still below your red. So we got to wait how she shake out. Just watch that 8-day. Very, very crucial. We get above that. We watch the top of that candle at that 3.18, 3.19 level. And then we can get above that. We can take it maybe to the 21-day, possible 200 SMA. Trading. That's what this is here. Just a trader. Right now, this is just a trader. Neither one of these are a buy and hold. All right, let's take a look here now at the old indexes. Here we have the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ. NASDAQ was ripping up really high. It was up like 300 on the futures. Ripping up very, very nicely on Meta's earnings, which is that Meta's still up 83. Microsoft is still up 20. But let's see what Apple and Amazon can do today after the close. Now, NVIDIA had a pretty good run all the way to 183.30. I took some off the table. And then it got down to 175.93. I had an order in there for 176. So I got it. I didn't get the bottom, but I got it by 7 cents. So that's what I'm holding on right now is to the NVIDIA. So let's see if that can make a nice good rally. But we will see after the hours today. Now, Apple usually reports late. They usually go about 4:30, but Amazon should be out first. All right. Here we have the old Dow. Now, we have this negative divergence. See, we have a high, lower high. higher high, negative divergence. Now we lost that 8-day right now, that 44,676, and we lost that 21-day. So what we're looking for right on the bottom here, we got as low today as 44,159. We're looking for this area right here to hold. If not, we're going to come to the bottom of that candle, 44.02, and it will come here at 43,758. Then what we do is we'll come right down to that 50-day at 43. 422. We have the 200-day at 42,879. Then we have the gap, the fill, and we have the 100-day. So let's just see it. But right now we just have sideways consolidation. No really big deal. But again, watch that negative divergence. Now here we have an overbought situation, and we just this is just melt up city. But again, we popped all the way up to 64.27. But then we came right on down. But we're holding that 8-day. That's the key. So you got lower, but we're still holding that 8-day. 63.64 key. We lose that. Look to that 21-day. Then we look at this price channel, 61.88. Then we look at the 50-day, and then we look at the gap, the fill, and then possibly 200-day, 100-day. But let's give us a little time. This is overbought condition. It could be a matter of time. So I'm just saying, I'm just warning you in advance. Watch that end of August, September, October area where you could have a really nice correction. But don't look at it as a correction. Just you look at it as a buying opportunity to take it long into the end of the year. Okay, here we have the old Nasdaq, same thing, got an overbought situation. Rallied up very, very nicely, 21,457, very, very nicely. Came down right down to the 8-day, and the 8-day is holding. Look how nice that's holding, okay? 21.86. Look right below it, you have 28.16. We'll come down to the price channel, 20.181, and then we have 20.61. There's your 50-day. Now we do have a gap. We do have a fill, 200-day, and then we have your 100-day. So it could be a matter of time, but let's just let all these earnings shake out. The only earnings that you're going to be waiting on then is going to be NVIDIA's, and that's going to be the August 27th on your earnings. So that's the only one that you're waiting in, so you have plenty of time to get into there. I think you can have a nice good rally in that stock. But right now here, Meta is dominating today. Microsoft is dominating today. So let's see what Apple and Amazon can do there after the close. So don't have no opinion. These are just traders markets. Traders markets. Okay, so that's what we want to look at, is just trading this. Don't look at it as I'm going to be buying and hold when you get the scenario up there. We buy and hold here, we buy and hold here, and we buy and hold right there. All right, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here tomorrow morning. We'll do it all over again. Take a look at Bitcoin, crude oil, natural gas, gold, silver, and look at the old NQ, which is coming off here about 41. But that can change right after the earnings today. We'll have to see. Trade what's in front of you, not what you want.